Hi guys! So for this week I have a video talking about some books that I love to read during college. There are only 3 books because those are the only 3 I could think of. I guess I didn't read that much during college, and then I can't remember if I did read anything. So there are only 3. Yeah. Okay, so the first book I'm going to mention is The Last Cannoli, written by Camille Cusumano. Hopefully I said it right. And I had to read this book for a class. I don't remember what class I had to read it, only that it was like on the list that they give you when you start school. And yeah, I still remember the book to this day. I have it sitting on my bookshelf still, so I figured I would mention it to you guys. Mention it to you guys. And the story is about this family, the Donatello family, who are a big Italian family. That you have some that are actually Sicilian immigrants, like the grandparents, and the book has different each chapter is a different family member, which is really nice. I always love like hearing different perspectives from characters, so you get to see the different perspectives of the different characters in the book, and they're all various ages and obviously have different thoughts about things, and their perspective deals with all of them are pretty much talking about the same kind of time frame. Some of the characters kind of reminisce and talk about the past. Yeah, and you get to learn a little bit about their family and their traditions, Sicilian traditions and just like family traditions, which I thought was really interesting, and I liked it. I liked, like I mentioned, reading the different perspectives. Alright, so the next book I'm going to mention is a book called Pray by Crichton. Can't say his name, and I know he writes a lot of books. And this book I read while I was in college, but not because of being in college. Sounds really confusing. But it was one of a couple books that got sent to my mom that just were sent to her, and we don't actually know who sent them or anything like that. I read the jacket of the book and I found it really interesting, and I'm really happy that I read it, and I still remember it to this day because it's a bit I don't know, it made an impact on me, kind of. So the book is about different things. It's about like a relationship and like a husband and wife and a family unit, but at the same time it deals in the background, which is really the main story, which is kind of crazy, like, and creepy. It has to do with like nanoparticles, micro robots, because the main character's wife deals with them and is doing an experiment, and you come to find out that these nanoparticles are being tested to be made into a weapon, and they start gaining intelligence and start going on the attack because they escape and can inhabit people, and they want to take over, and it's just really scary. It's one of those books where you think of, you know, that where you read and you think like it could be possible, especially since technology is advancing every day. Yeah, so it's like sci-fi thriller. It's like really, like, to this day I still think about it. You know, it's that question, if our machines turned on us, although I don't think we're at that stage yet, the public anyways. I'm sure there's like testing and things. Anyways, yeah, so I just wanted to mention that book because it really made an impact on me, and if you've read it then you would know. So the next book I'm going to mention is The Yacoubian Building. I'm going to read the name because I can't pronounce it. Alaa Aswany. And it is a book that I was made to read for a class, and I remember the class that I was made to read, that I had to read it for. It was a Middle Eastern history class that I was taking, and this was one of the books that we had to read during the semester, and I'm really glad that I read it, actually. And the book also has, well, there's a movie based on the book, but, you know, I think, you know, books are a bit better. Yeah, and it takes place in Cairo, in Egypt, and it mainly has to do with the one building and its residents, and you get to learn a little bit about not each resident, but most of the residents that live there, and you hear their story, like their past and their present, and you see how their lives end up converging within the book. It's a really, really good book. It still sticks with me, and I mean, I read that years ago. because of the residents and their story, and it was just very different from what I'm used to reading. Not, well, yeah, it is very different from what I'm used to reading. Yeah, so that's it. Those are all the books I have to mention. Yeah, I will list everything that I mentioned in the down bar below if you're interested. I will also link my previous video and my previous I love so-and-so video, and where you can find me, my social media links and all that stuff. And I will see you guys next week with a new video, and that's it. Bye!